We are having so much fun. We are being introduced to a super collector. She worked for the Burner Brothers for a while, but she's been a collector for decades. And what got her started is this piece that I'm going to show you next. But she is taking us on a tour, and we're going to see an amazing collection today. This is what got her started. And she said that when she had it refinished, they found a secret drawer. They found a little bit of Abraham Lincoln's schedule and other correspondence from him, and it's been completely professionally restored. So there's a bunch of us filming here. I'm going to try not to talk over them, but look at this amazing collection. And this is the lovely Pat, who is our hostess. And thank you. My goodness, what got you started in collecting that made you such a serious collector? Was it in the family?
No, I just like to go to auctions.
Yeah, it really is fun, isn't it?
You go in the bathroom.
Oh, okay. I've heard about the bathroom. Oh, you love costume jewelry.
Yeah, of all the houses I've been in all over the country, this one is one of a kind. It's
incredible.
It's amazing. Look at this astounding collection of costume jewelry. Let's look at the factices. This is a really neat collection. The opium and all of these bodacious, all these things that are generally department store displays. But there are collectors who bring them home, and then they have these really neat displays. All the blues together. I see a nice squash blossom in there. Yes, I was going to say you have some wonderful stuff hanging here.
I mean, it's all mixed up, but I know.
Yeah, you seem like you're a pretty organized collector, though. You have a ton of stuff, but it looks nice. And it's grouped, and it's actually, I mean, it's a wonderful collection. It's just amazing how extensive it is. How in the world did you get this piece?
For the coal miners?
Yes, that's right.
They go there, they goes, wah, wah.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
We'll go.
Big and loud with bellows. Girandoles are very pretty here from the 19th century. I think the teardrop crystals may be 20th century. This lamp is definitely 20th century, but wow, is that Hollywood Regency and fancy. The paperweight collection is really cool. You've got Flag Day from 1971 when they were starting to do paperweights again, but these ones here, the Friendship and the Mother, these are older, turn of the last century paperweights. Here is a pretty extensive set of the Goebel monks. She's got a lot of the pieces here. Salt and pepper shakers, creamers, figurals, and the three-piece on the tray. A lot of fun family memories scattered in here too. And she caught on to brass long before everybody else. So I see English candlesticks, I see bells, I see a great brass eagle. Bronzes all over, yeah. That's a really pretty one there with the winged Mercury. You can see the wings up on his head, trying to get Pegasus under control. That is a really cool piece. These are more contemporary 1980s versions with the dolphins. They have so much motion. I think that's a really fun design too. And then here is Lee from about 1910. Nutcrackers. There is just stuff everywhere you look in here. And the thing is yes, there's a ton, but it's pretty well organized actually. And yes, you can walk through the place. And yes, it is a lot of stuff, but I think it's a lot of really fun and interesting things. And she's obviously had a delightful time putting it together. I see we have a whole box of piano sheet music rolls, which makes me wonder if there is a player piano somewhere in the house. And then here's a bunch of this stuff that's by Blue Sky Pottery. This is very collectible now. A lot of these are 20 and 25 years old. A lot are out of production, and they are starting to sell in the secondary market. This is beautiful with the etchings. The hurricane shades have the etchings. The base has the etching. This is a very pretty early to mid 20th century lamp. The classic strawberry cookie jar, probably by Matlocks. A whole bunch of Fostoria American. She has all sorts of pieces you never see, including these Heisey colonials. Cruets. I see Fenton hobnail in the cranberry glass opalescent through here. There is a whole series of these presidential decanters up here. Everywhere you look, there's another collection. I love showing collector places like this because I like people to understand the depth to which some collectors are into this, and also to show you that you can have a lot of stuff and still have it in a way that you can enjoy it, see it, and actually have it be part of your life. Pillsbury Doughboy became a very collectible motif in the 1970s. Here is the McCoy cookie jar. Here are a whole bunch of the rubber figurines that you could send off in the mail for, the shakers, the spoon holder, the later cookie jars. And then on top of the refrigerator, we have a really great collection of Holt Howard and related pieces. The Pixie where she's got the mustard, the ketchup, these are really hard ones to find. The cookie jar was made later.
How many nutcrackers?
The relish, Sweet Santa, that's a very hard one to find. Holt Howard, of course, started in Christmas stuff. That was their original line. And then everything else went from there. And here's the GHA mark on this, and that's how you know that this is a later piece, not by Holt Howard, but it was done as a tribute to them. There's some good advice. Christmas is coming, and here are some of the largest nutcrackers you're going to see. There are some Steinbach in here, some other very good brands, and just an amazing assortment once again. These are fun to collect too. These are from various Volksmarches and other collector pins people have picked up along the way as they've gone around and hiked around various towns together. This is a thing that started in Germany. It's very popular here in the States now, and people love the hats with all the pins. And it's worth looking at the pins on some of these hats too, because most of them are just sort of commonplace and fun and of a trivial moment, but sometimes you'll find some rather valuable ones or things in 10 karat gold. So when you see these, take a little bit closer look at them. All right, we're heading upstairs. I like the Peter Max poster very much. And of course, staircases become shelves, as long as you can hold the rail. These are really fun. These are collages made of broken costume jewelry. This was a very popular thing to do in the 60s, and people are starting to do it again. The funny thing is, every so often I'll see a pin on one of these that is valuable enough that we will take them apart and put the pin back together and sell it as a pin. I found a Hattie Carnegie pin on one of these. I paid $20 for the display, and the Hattie Carnegie pin sold for $200. This is a nice old Gone with the Wind lamp with the applied decoration that you can see in 3 dimensions here. So this one's a little earlier. A lot of people think all of these are from the 1930s and before, or Victorian, but a whole lot were made in the 50s and 60s after Gone with the Wind came out, and people like the style again. She's got some pretty cool Christmas figures. These are Anna Lee, and this is a little bit bigger than we usually see. And then perfume bottles, and you've got several decades here. You have art glass from the 1980s, you have art glass from the 1960s, you've got check glass here. This looks like a 1930s piece. She's been a collector a long time, and so she's collected some of this that might have been new when she got it is now 30 and 40 years old and collectible. I recognize this one from Oregon because that is myrtle wood. A wood that is something that is very precious to people going to Oregon to buy as souvenirs, and nobody else really has heard of it. A couple more cool Anna Lees here, Mr. and Mrs. Claus, and then she's got some great mesh purses. I'm a big fan of these. I put one aside actually at the mall that I have to go back and pay for. She's got some neat pieces here. The sparkly sequined gowns from about 30 years ago are popular again. This first one is an Oleg Cassini black tie, so wow, isn't that pretty?
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
That is a beautiful fur coat.
So cool. Oh my gosh, I have to try it on.
Yeah, let's see
I
it.
don't swing and hit anything. All right, let's try it on. All right, how does it look?
I think that looks
Oh,
really good.
yes,
Is it me?
It is you.
it is you.
Looks sharp.
So you've spent some time in Las Vegas before Las Vegas was really the thing we think of it as now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I spent 4 years there.
Oh, how neat. And you said Doris Day was one of your housemates.
We had one bed. 2 of us worked days, 2 of us worked nights. And every time you slept in the bed, you took the top sheet and put it on the bottom. And they didn't have fitted sheets back in those days.
Right.
And then we had another room, and it had a toilet and a sink, and then a kitchen sink, and a box, that we heated in.
Right.
And I was known as a photograph nut.
Oh, you like to take pictures.
Pictures, and I took pictures. And I'm not telling you anything that I can't prove in pictures. The rich and famous people that I have the pictures of were poor and needy when they were taken.
That's so interesting. You knew them back before. Oh, that's great. I'm so glad to see that. I have a picture of my mother with John Wayne when she met him in the mid-60s, and he was quite tall, even with your bouffant. You're way shorter than him. What was he like in person?
He was really nice.
Yeah,
Very, very, very common, just an old shoe.
that's how my mother described him too.
He was just a common, ordinary guy.
Nice Fender banjo here. A stack of Afghans. This sort of reminds me of home. They were playing a couple of these earlier, very cute little tabletop phonograph players and cylinder players from about 1900 to 1910 and more.
It's the most incredible room in the house.
Wonderful purses. So she has been a long-term customer of Berner Brothers, and she bought a lot of this from them. And this hat pin collection is really an amazing thing. You can see by the way it's attached. If you look at the attachment there, that tells you that it's a real one. Reproductions don't have that same attachment at the top. This one's from about 1900 to 1910. It's rather long. Of course, after the suffragettes rioted in New York in 1908 and were attacked by the police, they stabbed them with their hat pins. So the New York legislature changed the rules, and then hat pins, they couldn't be that long anymore. And that's why you see these shorter ones, because they couldn't be long enough to be used as a weapon anymore. She's got some really great ones here. A lot with rhinestones. A few with some real jeweling. This is very pretty with the pink cap. This is very nice with the stoning on both sides. Hat pins are just a really fun thing to collect. And you can use them if you have a lot of hair without necessarily having to use them in a hat. Sweet little cameo piece on the electric blue there. And then she's got the hats. And you know me and hats, but I'm going to let the mannequins wear these. I think we'll just leave them on. Look at this beautiful, very pretty, probably size 4 wedding dress. Look at all of the encrusted decoration on this. It's just beautiful. It should be from about 1910, from the Gibson Girl era, and appropriately enough, she has put this postcard from that era, and it's showing the women as they were dressed. So many fun things in here. Collections of top hats and stovepipe hats and bowlers and that wonderful feathered hat over there. Just a whole pile of fun hats on this bed. This is just a really amazing and fun display of various items she's collected over the years. Silhouettes. It's pretty amazing the way she's layered everything. Look at this incredible Venetian glass mirror.
So much with that space.
Hello, everyone. This is a hollow bronze of Orlando. Well, she just told us we need to come back upstairs and see something that she's not sure we've ever seen, so we're going to take a look. Oh, yes, I didn't want to move things, but this is a really beautiful disc player. Wow.
And I have about, maybe 30 discs.
Aw, they're hard to find. That's just beautiful. And I noticed the disc was done in Hanover. I know a lot of these were made in Germany at the time. How long have you had that piece?
Oh, I've had it probably for maybe 40 years.
Well, that's what I figured when you were talking about the people you knew. I thought you must have had some musical background or something.
I sang for a living.
Oh, how fun. And what a beautiful concertina this is. All the detail. And even down to the anchors and the crown. So I guess this must have been an English piece. That is just beautiful. Well, actually, it says right there, doesn't it? It says Empress accordion.
Down the steps.
Oh, look at all of these little clocks. The ceramic clocks made in Japan in the 1930s and 40s. people found out that you were connected and collected. Yes.
They sent this to me.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's very cute. The red capiche shell lamp is a color I almost never see. I think I've seen one blue. It's a small world and it feels a little smaller in here. This is the one you had when you were a kid. Aw, so cute.
This one. And I remember it because it had these ears. I used to always rub them like this. And that's the only way that I knew. I'm like, I know she probably has it. And I think this was the one I had when I was a kid because I used to always do this to the point where all the ears ripped off.
Yes, of course.
Well, you ever come on and look at that?
That's so crazy.
Oh, I love the lamp with the pleated shade. And I guess that's chalkware with Mickey Mouse at the bottom.
How'd you meet these people?
That's cool. Copper luster. Wow, look at that. I love the bird.
Here's some more.
But then there's a bunch of the monks from about 1910, and then these are 19th century pieces with the texturing and the color. This is something you see better pieces in this part of the country than out west, of course, because this was really popular in the 1840s and 50s, and the West was still barely in pioneer days then. Cuckoo clocks. Really great to see these in such good condition. They tend to be hard to fix if they break, so you want to make sure that you have one that's in good shape. But these all seem to be complete with the weights and everything they need to run. Ties. There's a selection of ties for you. I like this paisley.
Oh, and by the way, the one thing that I did is I collected men's neckties.
I saw that.
If that. Well, you haven't seen that closet in the Mickey Mouse room. It's got 2,000 neckties in it.
Wow.
And I used to collect from the rich and the famous. And so this is one of my prized possessions.
Who was it?
Open this up
Okay.
and tell me whose necktie that is.
Oh, Donald J. Trump.
What I did is I wrote all the presidents and all the people. I would write them and I would ask them to send me a necktie. I asked him for that necktie on a Monday, and I got it on a Friday. And I took it to the jeweler, and he said that's 24 karat gold.
Wow.
Oh my gosh!
And who was the maker on that? I'm curious now that you said all of that. Does it say? Oh, handmade in China.
That's funny.
You got it?
She doesn't have enough.
Yeah, because I mean I don't
She
come in here.
She doesn't have
I desperately need neckties because I.
Oh my god!
You've got a lot of neckties, Pat.
She's got one for every day.
Oh
You can
my
see
goodness.
you can see them hanging back in there.
Oh
too.
wow. Oh, I see. It's racks and racks. Yeah, let me not step on your foot. Oh my goodness.
George is he's in now. He's going all the way back.
He's having a
I used
blast.
to wear ties at antique shows because it was no one else does, so it was a way to
See, and these
be
are all neckties.
memorable and have people find you again. But
And those
didn't have
back in
this
those
many.
pictures back in here
and yes, it turns out there is a player piano in the house. Love the purple hen-on nest there with the slag glass. That's a 1960s version, but they did those as far back as the 1880s.
buttons.
I like buttons, and I see you've got a lot of buttons, a whole lot of buttons, just festooned with costume jewelry. And I also like the hanging lamp. The pendant lamp is perfect in here to shine all of this, but wow, look at this variety. I mean, I don't even know where to start. There is so much bling, bling, bling. And we've got all the clear on its own. I like the shoe buckles there, the two squares.
The buttons didn't.
Look at the cat head, the pin right there. That's really cute. A tiara, of course. Stock market investor. It hasn't been that bad.
See like that.
A whole bunch of blue Indiana carnival glass. Rubber banks from about 1970. More Anna Lee dolls. For good boys and girls, what if you're not good?
Your stuff in every year?
Yeah.
Oh, those are your ribbons from the fair. I saw the big collection.
Those are my ribbons.
So these are
Wow.
ribbons that Pat has won with her stuff that she exhibits at the fair.
Yeah.
That is so
Well,
cool.
when you're 92 years old and you've done it for years, you got a lot of.
I guess that's true.
That is very true.
And I like your disco ball. That looks like an original.
butter churns and Blinko all together.
How big this troll is. You do not see this size often at all. This is almost like a store display size. I'll try to be gentle, but
That's okay.
wow, that is really something. I was looking to see if it had the maker name on it, but this one doesn't seem to.
Got something written on there, but I don't know what it says.
Oh yeah, very, very small. Yeah, this looks like an early one though. How cool. Neat old railroad signal lantern here, the Ad Lake.
Believe it or not,
Our classic.
buckeye trees.
I like Mr. Frog. Oh yes, the lava lamps. You've got a couple of the early ones with the pinhole bases too, I see.
Incredible. Look at the birds.
A collection of Nemaji pottery and some southwestern pottery from the 1970s and 80s here. And then boy, has she got the Tobies and character jugs, some of the smaller companies like Sandland in England. And there are a few Royal Daltons in there as well. The full-figured Churchill is one that still sells pretty well. Jim Beam 1955 Thunderbird. That is one of the more collectible of the Jim Beam bottles. The cars are still collectible, especially the cars that are cool cars like that.
They're full.
Oh yes, and those are the Beam
my
train cars too. And well, you must have different laws here in Ohio, because in the state I'm from originally, we have to pour the liquor out. We're not allowed to sell it in there. Ah, here's what Jocelyn was talking about. Yes, look at the wonderful parrots up there. And they are guarding this incredible collection of wine, and I understand that there are some rather valuable bottles in there. There certainly are a lot. Apparently there was a vintner in the family at one time. Speaking of ties, this little slot machine on the left that says it's Vegas Baby is sponsored by Wembley Tie. They were an American company that we used to sell at the outlet center in Centralia way back when. They simultaneously made the Jerry Garcia ties for the Grateful Dead and the Rush Limbaugh ties. One fun thing about being a collector is if you have the grounds for it, your collection can go outside the house too, and she's got some really fun garden ornaments. What's neat about these is that there's newer pieces and older pieces, and with time they all age out and have this great look. And I see a couple over there, as well as that wonderful sculpture that I want to look at closer.
Yeah, we have a pond as well.
We talked about
in our house.
Every time I see an aged gnome, I think of Rock City in Tennessee, where they stuck all the little gnomes in the little caves, and that's part of the tour. And it's really funny because it's this beautiful place, and then there's all these silly gnomes, and it actually makes it fun and surreal. An inlaid tile table, yes.
I bought that out in California, and it costs $1,600 to ship it home.
I bet. That's a heavy thing.
They couldn't get an open bid on it because it's heavy. The table is,
Oh, so nobody was willing to buy it because they didn't want to move it, right?
I paid $40 for it and
Wow.
paid over $1,000
To get it here, yeah. But still, on balance, that's a great deal. See, you've got an early washing machine hiding under there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's neat. With the wood oaken drum.
And it still works.
Oh yeah, they were really indestructible. I have actually only found one that didn't still work.
That's an old one.
Oh yeah, that's got to be 19 teens at the latest. I just wanted to say thank you so much for letting us go through your home and see your wonderful collection, and what an interesting life you've had.
My pleasure.
Oh, my pleasure too. Well, thank you so much. And I just want to tell all of you out there, this is the fun of collecting. And if you've been collecting for 60 years like Pat has, well, you'll have a neat organized collection of all sorts of cool things too.
If you enjoyed this video, check out this one. Also, click thumbs up to like this video, and check the description for information about our Patreon, our memberships. We've got a lot of different levels with different perks and bonus videos and early content. Also, please do check out our website, theantiquenomad.com, for appraisal help, and we'll see you again for more adventures in the antique and vintage community soon. Bye for now.